Hello once again. Welcome to my house in southeast Missouri near Fredericktown and Farmington. Again, we're going to go over some water Tai Chi things. Water Tai Chi principles. Tai Chi in general is sometimes called the art of drawing circles, figure eights, arcs, curves. But in general they just say Tai Chi is the art of drawing circles. Big to small, big to small, small to big. So we have vertical circles in this plane, horizontal circles in this plane, and coronal circles, which basically is going like in clockwise and counterclockwise directions if you put a clock, superimpose the clock here. Those are the three main circles. Of course, there's other, if you get into spheres and figure eights and whatnot, and vortices, those are all based in spirals, those are all based on circles. So it can get more advanced and more complicated rapidly. But the three basic circles are a great way to start out with and are fundamental. And also when you do start to do circling exercise, if you watch me, my whole body's moving. So there's a principle in Tai Chi called one thing moves, everything moves. One thing stops, everything stops. So you might come to a point of stillness and then change directions. But all your tissues are moving. Your fascia, your skin, your muscles, your tendons, your ligaments. They're revolving around your bones. We don't want to twist and contort our joints, particularly our knees or elbows. But the shoulders can do and the hips can do lots of remarkable things. The feet, wrists, and hands also have a potential to make all kinds of wavy, circling, spiraling movements. So we don't need to be too concerned with them. But we do not want to put pressure on our knees. We do not want to grind our knees together. We do not want to twist our knees. We do not want to torque them in. We don't want to torque them out. We also don't want to get in a weird position and start twisting and whatnot. Other joints can handle that to a greater degree. But in general, we're not doing things like that anyway. So at times, these look like dance moves. And they are, kind of. A lot of super serious martial artists, particularly Chinese martial artists, really put down dancing. But I'd like to remind those people that Bruce Lee was a champion dancer. So was T.T. DeLong. And if you go to China, you go to these parks, there's all kinds of martial artists, and they dance. There's also just regular people dancing. Chinese people love to dance. They have couples dancing ballroom, they have jazz dance, aerobic dance, they have classes for women. You know, these parks are huge, and you have sometimes even hundreds of these classes going on at different times. So this whole idea that dancing is some sort of inferior activity isn't good for you and is not powerful and transforming is ridiculous. So it's okay to put on music and flow, because actually in Tai Chi allows, like a style like Yang style is known for flowing, consistent, continuous movement. Like they sometimes call it long river boxing. So water in a healthy river flows, it's continuous, it's always moving. So again, one thing moves, everything moves. And that smooths out your nerves, smooths out your nervous system. It's really good for your health. It gives you a rhythmic strip bending and stretching, which is pumping and pulsing the joints and moving fluids. It's really good for you. These are the kind of things we want. Continuity, smoothness, and and even rhythm in general. Sometimes we do break those rules occasionally, like in Chen style. So anyway, I'm going to start off with some vertical circles. Here's a profile view. So put your hands approximately chest height. Have a little space in your armpits. Don't compress your elbows and squeeze your armpits. So we're going to draw small circles in the beginning. You can start out with big circles if you like, or you can do small circles. It really doesn't matter. So I'm getting a little bigger. So I'm going down approximately pelvic level up to eye level. So here's a basic vertical circle. And my spine's hitting a C curve. And I'm stretching upward, bending and stretching, extending and expanding, condensing and coming into my center, expanding from the center. So again, since I'm doing this C curve, bend the bow, shoot the arrow principle of a spine movement, I'm pumping fluids up and down my spine. I'm also keeping this area, the inguinal area, loose. There's lots of blood vessels, lots of lymph vessels, lots of nerve flow down through the hips and the buttocks, down inside the legs and the back of the legs. So I want to have a pumping action going here. My shoulder blades and armpits area are open and moving. There's lots of nerves and blood vessels going down through the neck, from the brain into my arms and hands. So we're pumping. It's like a hydraulic pumping movement. And I'm doing a medium circle. I could go into a small circle. And I could go back to a medium circle. So you can experiment with that. I'm going over this real briefly. You might want to do 10 small circles and then 10 medium circles. Or 10 big circles and 10 small circles. It's up to you. I'm really a big fan of going from big to small, small to big. And I'm not trying to make this into a scientific experiment and make it too exact. I'm just getting the flow and the continuity. So now I'm going to come back into a small circle, then I'm going to change directions and do a small circle. But before I do that, I'm going to go into stillness briefly and just let everything drop to the earth and let my spine extend and bring my attention to Shu Ling Ding Jing, light and agile energy at the top of my head, skyward, as if I'm suspended from above. So my lower body's sinking and my spine is lightly extending. So now I'm going to previously we did this direction, so now I'm going to do small circles in the other direction. And my spine is gently bowing back and forth. Bend the bow, shoot the arrow. So I'll make the circles a little bigger. So let's get this kind of rhythm going. Notice that there's a certain rhythm that I'm tapping into. And a quick way to tap into that rhythm is to fold the inguinal area and spring off the floor. If I bring my arms out and palms forward towards you, I'm going to bend my knees and coordinate that with the folding of my hips, my quad area, the inguinal area, and the front of my elbows. This is a good rhythmic, so I'm going to draw in and expand, folding from the hips, back of the knees, fronts of the elbows. So I'm going to slightly draw in. You can see my hands slightly pulling in and then expanding. And that's what my whole body's doing. My feet are doing that. My whole body's doing that. My spine's doing that. So if you tap into this rhythm, which I'll be quiet for a moment here and just really tap into that rhythm. What does my body naturally want to do right now? Probably best for me to slow down a little bit. I'm getting overexcited. I'm talking. So let's go slow. So now I'm going to do these exercises with maybe a slower rhythm. So this is another thing to play with. So I'm opening the back of my knees, opening the fronts of my elbows, extending my hip quad area, bending. So the bend of my elbows, the bend of my knees, and the bend of my inguinal hip area, the bikini cut area, is coordinated. They're in harmony. They're happening at the same time. when you tap into that rhythm, that will smooth out your circle and make your movements continuous. This is something we do. We want to have this smooth rhythm, for instance, in a lot of Tai Chi movements. That's a little bit of a Yang style movement. So I sped up a little bit. I just want to give you a taste of these ideas. So I'm glitching out on the way down, so I want to smooth that out. Okay. So now I'm going to come back to smaller circles and then maybe hit a point of stillness. Pulse my joints a little bit. Little micro movements. I want to create aliveness, not deadness, not stagnation. I'm not holding myself stiff or overly still. So I'll do small movements in the other area and go back to the other circle. Obviously, both of these circles are in a vertical plane, giving you a taste of these circles. Changing directions. So I'm doing this somewhat randomly. You could start out with a certain pattern, like you're doing 10 of a certain type of circle, 10 to 20 of another type of circle. Again, we just did the vertical area. Now, next, I'm going to shut this off in a minute, and we'll start another circuit video in circles, and we're going to do the horizontal plane. You can also change your stance. Right here, my feet are parallel. You can also just step out a little bit and rock back and forth and do vertical circles. Change your feet. So they call this a bow and arrow stance in Yang style. Basically, you're stepping out. Feet are a little wide. You don't want to be like on a line where you're tipsy tops. You want a little bit of your pelvis underneath, a little spread, so you have a good base. So you can do circles in this stance, and then you can change into the other stance. You can step back, change, go forward, step back. You can move with this. So I'm giving you a taste of it. Next we're going to do horizontal circles. And then another video right after this, we're going to do coronal circles. Big to small. Chen style does a lot of this particular circle. I'm going to show you a little taste in the next video of Wu style and Yang style, which use a lot of the vertical circle and especially a lot of the horizontal circle. I'm going to save the coronal circles for a little bit of Chen style demo, just to throw that in there so you can see what some of these family Tai Chi styles look like. So we're using these family Tai Chi styles like Wu, Yang, and Chen as templates. Water Tai Chi is not a strict family style at all. So we start adding nuances to the templates of Yang style especially. But there's also influences of Wu style, Chen style, there's Xingyi involved, there's Bagua. Water Tai Chi is based on principles, not rigid adherence to a form. Because we actually want to move from form to eventually formlessness, where the circles and spirals and whirlpools and vortices of energy and movement create an incredible power. And we can also then finitely, if we want to throw them into self-defense, or we can dissolve all that tension and hit the natural state and be in a state of meditation. So this is an extemporaneous, I'm speaking extemporaneously for you here, and I'm trying to throw out a lot of the theory and show you that this is not your ordinary Tai Chi class or Tai Chi curriculum where you go, you spend all this time stiffly, robotically learning a form, and then they say, oh, that's Tai Chi. I mean, it might be a good start, but if you get hung up on that, you're actually going to lose the Tai Chi principles and you're not going to get the health benefits, and you're not really going to be able to generate much power. So that's the end of my sermon there. Let me start another video in another minute. Thank you.